The world today, not just people here, seem to think of Trump before they go to sleep. They wake up wondering what Trump has done to the world this morning. So sometimes I feel that gatherings like ours are here to celebrate Trump or to bemoan the fact that he is there. Either way, I think 3.5 years further down the lane uh, would be something that world has rarely seen. And I've read about all the historical figures, especially the Italian ones. I'm not specifically talking about Nero and Caligula. I don't want to put them in the same bracket as our present subject. But certainly we are passing through a very, very trying period and a very, very uncharted path. SCO and BRICS had also been mentioned by the Secretariat. So very briefly, I'll mention a couple of points because there is a feeling sometimes that, okay, if we have to move away from USA, there's always SCO and BRICS, and that'll take care of all the problems that the membership of these two organizations have. To some extent, perhaps to look at it positively and to quote a recent example, China diverted its imports of soybean from USA to Brazil. And that has had a major negative effect on American producers of soybean who otherwise used to send billions of dollars worth of soybean to China. So these small measures, these small actions by countries other than America, other than European countries, can have an effect in a snowballing way if it gathers steam. But will it gather steam? Because our interests are divergent, we are too far apart geographically, except in case of India and China and Russia, to really have that kind of a major impact on our economic patterns. If you're thinking of a partnership, if you're thinking of, regional organizations or trans-regional organizations like BRICS and SCO, then you should anticipate and you should come forward. To give you another example of how things are not so easy to achieve despite our wish, or despite our wishes, and despite our hopes. For example, we want to move away. I don't mean just India, but let's say the world wants to move away from dollar. And America has been fleecing the world on this dollar trade in terms of billions of dollars of profit every year for every little exchange that we do in trade denominated in dollars. Let's say that we want to trade only in rupees with Russia or China or Iran. Is that practical? As it is, Iran and Russia have hordes of rupees saved up in Indian banks because we are not exporting enough. So to think that we will be able to replace dollar and trade in rupees would need a lot of hard work by India certainly and by others also who are hoping to have their currencies as alternate to dollar in terms of trade. Now that was SCO and BRICS. Let me come to the other order of the day, and that is the world order. Now this has become a buzzword that will change the world order. Good. If you want to change the world order, do it. But when did this thing called the world order come about? The fact is that world order came about only after the Second World War. Before that, you look back into the history, you might say, you mean there was no order in the world before? Yes, there was order. There was the order of the Roman Empire. There was the order of the British Empire. There was the order of colonial empires, or Genghis Khan, and so on, or Timur and people like that. But those orders were limited to the territories they had conquered. And those orders were the orders of the rule of the rod. And the moment those territories became independent or came under someone else's sovereignty or limits, that order vanished to be replaced by another order. Global order was a new term which came about because of the devastation of the Second World War and because of the fact that there was a realization that there were a number of countries which are becoming independent, and the world needed a system which will give a new vision. So there was a moralistic side to it, and there was an economic side to it, and there was a realistic side in terms of trying to avoid, as they said, never again, a major war like the World War. So it was self-interest. The second point was that America at that time counted for 50% of the world's GDP. So it could set the terms, it could make others agree to what it thought was best for the world to function under. And yet another element in favor of creating a new world order was the fact that America had a group of allies, mainly Europeans, who were totally in agreement with whatever America said. And the rest of us, whether in Africa, Latin America, or Asia, too new to the rules of the game to say, no, we have another viewpoint. We did not have a new viewpoint at that time because we were too busy getting used to the idea that we were not a colony. So we were quite happy when the West assured us, mainly America, that look, whatever we are doing is to your benefit. And we went along with that. But to be fair, I must say that under the circumstances, this was the best that could have happened to them.